Now, last week I made a promise, so I'm sticking to it. Unfortunately, though, I'm going to dedicate my take to one of the topics that Isan Kuma writes about in his book in page 198. Page 198, he writes about gifts and bribes, the deliberate obfuscation. Gifts and bribes, the deliberate obfuscation. I told you that I'll share one part about it with a lot of legal education. But of course, this is also very simple. I just practically can't pick one to share. But I decided that this might be very good at this time, knowing we are all talking about corruption. And as we get to the Christmas, and people are getting ready to get engaged in all sorts of acts that they think are acts of gifts, when in fact they are acts of bribe. And we just spoke about this book last week. And just last week, I think about a day or two after it had been put on the internet, on the African books, on the Amazon, I think, yeah, it was ranking and trending at number 4 among West African books within hours that it had been posted. Now, here we go. Gifts and bribes, the deliberate obfuscation. I do not think that Ghana will win the fight against corruption soon. Maybe never. Corruption appears to be so deeply ingrained in our national psyche that we have conveniently classified obvious bribes as gifts to justify our continued giving and receiving of them. It will take a whole new level of thinking and action to convince us that these are separate concepts. According to my dictionaries, to bribe a person is to dishonestly persuade that person to act in one's favor by a gift of money or other inducement. Thus, bribe is a sum of money or other inducement offered or given to bribe someone. As you can see, these definitions of bribe somehow refer to a gift. It therefore shows that there are certain circumstances where what is called a gift might be a bribe in its real sense. What's a gift? It is a thing given willingly to someone without payment, a present. Thus, it is not a gift unless the item is given willingly and without payment in any form in return for it. For a person who is giving a gift to another in public office, the question that you should ask yourself, the questions you should ask yourself are: 1, are you giving this alleged gift willingly? And 2, do you feel compelled to give because you have received or hope to receive some payment or favor or consideration for the item? A thing is done willingly if it is done voluntarily, of one's own free will, accord, or volition. Whenever you feel compelled by any fact or reason to give something to another person, particularly a person in public office, for example, as appreciation for some work that the person has done for you, or in anticipation of some work that the person will do for you in the future, whether directly or indirectly, the critical elements of willingly disappears and the nature and character of the item moves from being a gift to a bribe. In other words, whenever there is a quid pro quo, i.e., your alleged gift is in reality a favor or advantage granted in return for something, you have left the realms of gifts and are straying into possible bribery. Imagine that the intended recipient of the item was not who or what he or she was. Would you still send him or her that gift? If the answer is an emphatic yes, then go ahead. But if the answer is no, or if you have any doubts at all, then it is time to have a reality check. Buddy, you pay bribes. I therefore do not agree with those who say that there is a little difference between gifts and bribes. Respectfully, that is an attempt to deliberately fudge the issue. Stop using the word gifts as a convenient and raw and ready euphemism for the bribes you have been paying and receiving. And this is how he concludes. Let's do some real talk. This Christmas, when you draw up the list of people to receive hampers from you, and hampers is in quotes, from your office, take a little time and do some deep introspection. You just might be. So that's Esan Kumar writing on how we confuse gifts and bribe. When in fact we are giving a bribe, we claim to say we are giving a gift. And I read that from page 197 thereabouts of his book, Is There Not a Cause to Rant? Thank you very much. And that's by way of my take this morning.